I've been with the same company for 41 years, but early in my career, I was able to do a lot of freelance work. So I got out there in the different trucks. I've been out there, Central America to do beauty pageants and award shows and things like that. Everything has changed, right? From radio to TV and film, right? You can go way back then and you progress to now. I think what's important is to engage that innovation, that change is coming. The whole thing with AI now, I get it, and I definitely respect the point of view that people have, but it's going to happen either now or 5 years from now, but it's going to happen. And the idea is to be part of it, engage it, learn from it, and be part of the change. Not don't get left behind.
Today, our guest is Bert Delgado. Bert is the Senior Vice President of Production and Technical Operations at TelevisaUnivision, where he leads production, broadcast operations, and technical infrastructure across the company's news, sports, entertainment, and streaming platforms. With more than 40 years in the television industry, Bert has helped shape some of the biggest advancements in broadcast production, from Univision's transition to digital and HD to overseeing major live events, including the Latin Grammys, World Cup coverage, and some of Spanish language television's most iconic programs. A respected industry leader and champion of innovation, Bert is helping to launch the Creative Production Experience, or CPX, a new event designed to bring together professionals from television, film, live events, sports, and creative technology to explore the future of content production. Bert is here today to talk about his background, but also the CPX show. If you're looking to level up your workflow and check out the future of virtual production and broadcast gear in person, CPX 2026 is bringing together filmmakers, creators, and top technology vendors at a real studio campus in Miami this October 5th and 6th. For more information or to register, visit cpx2026.com. And please welcome Bert Delgado. Bert, hello, how are you?
Thank you for having me today. How are you doing?
No, I appreciate you being here. I know you're a busy guy and an important guy, and it looks like you're getting ready to go jump on the boat right now, though. So I'm a little bit jealous. I'm up here in the mountains. There's no boats anywhere near me.
I'm a water guy. I'm a boater. I'm a sailor. Just grew up on the beach and all that, and I just love the water. Biscayne Bay is my second home.
Beautiful. I love Biscayne Bay. Until my son started in motorsports himself, I always had boats. When he got into motorsport, there was sort of a division of the funds, like it was all going to him at that point. And secondly, just time, like I was looking at a boat that was sitting in a marina for 6 months unused, and I was paying $700 a month just for the marina. And I was like, it's probably time to sell that puppy because it's just, I don't have time to use it anymore, unfortunately. So
yeah,
I miss
I
boating
always
a great deal.
recommend people to listen before you go out and buy the boat. Go join a club somewhere. Make sure you have the time.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to pay for fuel, and all the friends are gonna come. You're gonna buy the lunch. Just make sure you can do that before you go out and buy a boat.
That's one of the things that has evolved over the last, 20 years or whatever, is these boat clubs. Like when I sold my first or second or third boat, I forget, and I was like, okay, I just don't have time or energy to own a boat anymore. I joined at the time the Freedom Boat Club.
Yes.
And it was very new at that time. And I think I paid $10,000 for the membership or something for 3 years maybe. And we used it at first extensively because we were one of very few members. and you could kind of call any time and get a boat. And oftentimes even the one you wanted. Like if you wanted a fishing boat, you could get a fishing boat. If you wanted a bow rider or whatever, you could get that. And then it got worse and worse to where it was like you had to book weeks in advance. And I'm not that kind of boater where I can decide 2 weeks from Saturday I want to go on the boat.
Yeah.
Like I wake up in the morning and go, let's go down to the marina.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm the same way. I'm actually having a tough time because I'm part of a sailboat club now.
Okay.
And that's because, first of all, to get a slip down here, forget it. I've been on the waiting list forever, and it just doesn't work. So this opportunity came up to join the club, but you have to book 6 months in advance, right?
How do you do that?
There's 8 captains on one boat, and I get it. So I put it in my calendar. I tell my wife we're not doing anything else that day. And so far, you know what? I didn't think I was going to like it, but I'm beginning to like it because to have a boat, you know how it is, the expense, like you said, the flip, the boat,
Yeah.
Here I pay a monthly fee. I go, yes, I've missed a couple. That's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for my lifestyle and sometimes it's emergency travel, it's this, it's that. Like, it's a very, fast moving lifestyle, I guess, for the most part. Different now. I've slowed down a lot now, but at the time it was just impossible for me to do the boat club thing. And forget it. Like if Friday afternoon you decided, let's go on the boat tomorrow, you couldn't even get like a 15-foot, little jet boat or something. You couldn't get anything. Like it was just, well, we'll put you on the cancellation list. There's 11
I want to live the boating life. I still recommend them. They go rent for
Try it. Yeah. Yeah, I have a very good friend who just did this with RVs. Him and his wife, they're in their 70s now, and they decided, we're gonna do some RVing, and we're gonna do a big trip this summer and go up through Canada and the West Coast and all this stuff, and it'll be awesome. And so they went in to rent an RV, and they ended up buying a $500,000 RV, and they'd never even tried it. And I'm like, that's the dumbest thing you could possibly do. Like, what are you thinking,
Yes, I got to tell you, part of the whole thing of RVing and boating and all that is, there's always that financial side in my mind, right? Like, I always got finances.
Yeah.
Spend $500,000 on a depreciating asset. I just can't.
It's brutal. Well, and God knows, like every time you use it, sailboats are different. I don't know much about sailing. I'm way too A-type for sailing. Like if I want to go from here to here, I want to go. I don't want to go.
That's the difference between By the way, I own a small motorboat, but that's the difference between motorboating and sailing. On a motorboat, you got to get somewhere. On a sailboat,
you got nowhere to be.
Oh, you're there.
Yeah, you don't need to be anywhere fast, anytime fast. I just. I could be going absolutely nowhere and I still have to pass everyone and get to the front of the line. Like, it's just how my mind works. I can't stop it. I've tried even in my older age now. It's just who I am.
That's me on the local highways around here. I'm the one always doing this.
Yeah. Well, you have to in Miami just to survive. That's survival in South Florida. Like, it's funny because I come from Western Canada. I come from Calgary, Canada originally, and I've been in Florida now for 35 years. But I have a house up here in Canada where I am right now in the mountains in a small town. And people are very patient, very nice, very, just super nice people. And like, for example, if you're on the highway here and you put on your turn signal to change lanes, they create a gap for you and everyone slows down and moves out of the way and invites you in, basically. What happens if you put your turn signal on
exactly.
I-95,
Close the gap.
Yeah, they close the gap. You ain't getting in front of me, and they'll shoot you if you try. They'll pull a gun out and start firing at you. So that was a learning experience for me in when I moved to Florida. Like, I remember not long after I moved to Florida, I originally lived in Aventura.
Oh.
And I remember a guy cut me off one time, and I did what Canadians do. I flipped him the bird, right? He followed me to my house. And like, I thought he was going to kill me. I didn't know what was going to happen. So I finally kind of lost him. I got rid of him. I shook the guy, but he was following me to my house.
Road rage started down here.
That was over 30 years ago. I
Yeah.
haven't flipped somebody the bird again in a car in South Florida. Not
Not
once.
today. No
Not
way.
once. Never.
No
No.
way.
The road rage, like you see it on the news way too often, you
Exactly.
know?
Exactly.
So, but it's a great place to live. I mean, and obviously, you know, you see all the people moving from other places, some for political reasons, but others just because of the lifestyle. It is a great lifestyle living in South
Listen,
Florida.
to be honest, one of my stories is I had a job interview up in New York, back in whatever it was, early 80s, late 80s, early 90s, whatever. And that was my dream, was to go work in New York and sports and Oscars and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I go to the interview. I'm all excited. It was February. I will never forget. It was February. It was cold. It was rainy. It was the wind was blowing. I'm like, I'm still gonna do this. But you know what? On the way home, we're coming back down to Miami, and we're going over the beach. And I'm at the window. I'm looking out. I'm going, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And that was a life-changing moment for me. And that's when I
Yeah.
said, this is it. This
Yeah.
is where I'm staying. And then from there, things just started to fall in place. And that's where I'm at today.
Yeah, you know, I won't say who it was, but one of the lighting manufacturers that I worked for, I was working remote at the time, and at one point, the owners of the company brought me in, and they said, "We want you to move to New York and handle our biggest key accounts in the country, and we just think we need a senior person managing the New York region, basically." And I said, not interested. And so he takes a piece of paper and a pen and slides it across the desk at me in this real dramatic move, right? Write your number. And I just slid it back to them.
Movies.
I slid it back to them and I said, there isn't one.
Oh,
I mean, and that's literally how I feel. And I feel the same today. Somebody could offer me $3 million a year to go live in New York and work, and I wouldn't do it because at some point, money is not,
it's not
the end goal. Like, it just isn't, The
Yeah.
end goal is happiness and feeling good about what you're doing and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not putting down anyone that works in New York. I respect the hell out of those
I'm just
people.
talking about myself. Just talking about
Yeah.
myself. Listen,
Yeah.
I had to move my oldest daughter 10 years ago to New York, right? And, I've been to New York a whole bunch of times because of work. But when you go for
Yeah,
work,
me too.
you go to a nice hotel, you go to a nice restaurant, you're always in a taxi, you're living the good life.
Yeah.
Well, my daughter moves into the Lower West Side, I think it was Lower West Side. And I had to go to Home Depot.
Hmm.
It took an hour and a half to get to Home Depot.
Yeah.
And then an hour and a half to get back. And it was only like 5 miles away. I said, no.
It's not me.
That was
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So
No,
that was
I mean, that's,
when I said no to New York.
yeah. Well, when I moved away from Calgary was, I think at the time, around 600,000 people. So even me moving to South Florida, I was like, oh my God, like, what is this, And it took a while to just get used to the fact that you had to plan ahead to go places and what time of day are you traveling and all of that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
It's, I prefer, and the older I get, the more I like smaller communities, smaller places. Like, I like it. I like being able to walk outside and there's open land where you can walk and you don't have to bump into 1,000 people or whatever.
It is concrete heaven down here. I mean, I moved down here. I'm originally from New York, Queens, New York, but I moved down when I was 6. So I saw the whole expansion of South Florida.
Yeah.
It's
changed a bit. Yeah. It has changed a bit.
I actually
even in the
live
time
now
I've been
where I
there.
used to go fishing as a kid out west in Broward County because it's all
Really?
suburbia now.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's where I moved to, was Pembroke Pines.
Oh, that's
And,
where I'm at. Yep.
and it's funny because the very first one, right after I got married in 1993, the first house that I bought was, I forget the name of the development, but it was in Pembroke Pines, way west, like
Yeah.
where now it's a thriving metropolis.
Yeah,
but
it's
at that
suburbia.
time, there was nothing there.
Yeah.
And a lighting designer, came to my house and he walks out into my backyard and he goes, holy shit. And I said, what? And he said, that's the sportatorium right there.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I said, what's that?
Yes.
And he goes, you don't know the sportatorium? And I go, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And there was still like some of the concrete from
Yes.
the frame of the sportatorium was still there. And I always wondered what this pile of rubble was behind my house. I had no idea. And he started telling me about it, and then I was talking with Howard Ungerleider. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's the lighting designer for Rush.
Okay.
And
Oh,
and so Howard, I said to Howard, I just found out that my backyard is a venue. And he goes, which one? And I said, the Sportatorium. He goes, let me tell you a story, and it's a big deal where something happened and Neil Peart's flight didn't come in on time, or something happened and they were late coming on. And I forget who opened for them. I think it was Max Webster, another Canadian band. And it turned into a riot. And,
wow. I saw Rush 1983 at the Sportatorium,
yeah,
and I'm going to go see Rush now in August in
me as
Toronto.
well.
They're
Oh,
in Toronto. I'm going to go see them up there. Big Rush.
yeah. Yeah. I talk to Howard weekly at least.
Oh,
He's one of my favorite people. I love the guy.
well, I'm
And
glad
I'm
that
just so
Getty's doing
happy for
well
him,
and
what's going
Seneca's
on right
doing
now.
well, and I'm glad
Yeah.
the band is just doing what they're doing.
Yeah. And it looks fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
he's outdone himself. Like,
Yeah.
they obviously spent a lot of money on this show, but it's just fantastic. And everyone who sees it, and I think Getty's singing better than he has in probably 30 years.
Yes.
And so good for them. I'm
Yep.
Canadian, and I became a bass player in part because of Geddy Lee and Rush. And
Oh,
I was a singer and a bass player, and I had Taurus pedals just like him, and I bought synthesizers that he had and stuff like that. Never learned how to play them really, but
very cool. I
yeah.
was
So
great at air band. Remember the air band competitions?
of course, yeah, I do. This episode is brought to you today by ETC Rigging. For 50 years, ETC has made a name for itself in the world of entertainment technology. You can find ETC products in buildings of every size across the entire globe. Broadway shows, rock concerts, sports stadiums, outdoor parks, TV studios, and convention centers, you name it. They have all trusted ETC to make their spaces beautiful and safe. Many of these spaces include rigging systems to keep them running smoothly and safely. Fortunately, ETC Rigging offers a range of hoists and controls to accommodate the unique needs of various production spaces and budgets. ETC's motorized hoists and hoist control systems raise theater technology, including stage curtains, lighting equipment, backdrops, projection screens, and more. And the recent addition of Prodigy Balance, a new counterweight rigging solution for loads up to 1,200 pounds, brings more options to venues looking for safe, user-friendly rigging. If you need backstage rigging that is easy to learn and safe for students and volunteers to use, Prodigy Balance could be the answer. ETC is known for its customer support and 24/7, 365 availability. But now, employees have even more of a personal stake in maintaining that reputation because ETC has become 100% employee-owned. Each person building the rigging systems, developing the control software, and answering support calls is actually an owner at ETC. Outstanding support, reliable products, innovative technologies. This is the foundation of excellence ETC has built over the past 50 years, and they plan to deliver more in the next 50. For the latest ETC products and installation news, visit etcconnect.com. Of course, yeah. So, you've been doing what you do, and I think even for whom you do it, for a very long time.
I have. I have been with today is TelevisaUnivision for 41 years, believe it or not.
That is
And
wild.
I didn't want to work in Spanish television, but the opportunities, back in 1985 when Spanish television was around, it was bottom of the barrel. Oh my God, look what they're doing. And I got in at the right time with a group of people that turned it into what it is today. Spanish television is a powerhouse in this country, and many nights we are beating general market in ratings, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm proud to say that I was part of that team back when it started as Spanish International Network. But
Yeah.
actually, back a little more than that, because my father was in television, and I was up in New York. He was working in New York. He worked at ABC and all that. And then we came down here in the 70s, you know, the whole Cuban thing. I'm Cuban. The family started coming over, and he was one of the pioneers of Spanish television down here at an independent station. So there was Channel
Interesting.
23 and Channel 6 that had Spanish programming way back when.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah, and it's funny that you say that, you know, it's now beating I don't recall how you
General Martin.
exactly. Yeah, General Mark.
Yeah.
And but you know, we're seeing that across the board in live events as well. Like you see some of the Spanish artists or Latin artists who are just absolutely killing it. Like besides Bad Bunny, the other ones as well.
Yes.
But even in Spanish markets, in
Yes.
Latin markets, you know,
Yes.
South America is just booming right now.
Yes. I mean,
And
I don't know if I'm allowed to say these names or, you know,
you can
right.
say whatever you want.
Like someone like Sofia Vergara, I mean, she
Yeah.
started at Univision. Well, I shouldn't say that. She started in Colombia, but she did have a show at Univision. And
I
then
didn't
from there,
realize that.
sorry?
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, she started at Univision. She had a travel show with another gentleman, Fernando Fiori. Was it a travel show? I think it was a travel show. And that's where she started, at least in the
She's
States.
like
She did
she's
some
like
work
my
in
hall
Miami.
pass, you know. She's my hall pass, I think. So, you know, if I would have known that, I probably would have learned to speak Spanish just so I could watch her show. She's special.
She's a
But
beautiful woman.
yeah. No, I didn't know that. And I think she's hilarious. Like not
Yeah.
only is she stunningly gorgeous even in her 50s now,
Yes.
but she's hilarious. Like
Yeah,
just
I
the
mean,
things
her
she
acting was,
says and
that show was spectacular. It was just a
oh,
spectacular show, you know,
just
writing on it.
fantastic.
It was great.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
even now, like on America's Got Talent and stuff, like
Yeah.
just some of the things she says and how she says them and stuff is just hilarious. Like
Yeah.
it just
Agreed.
cracks me up constantly. But
Proud
yeah,
of
so I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yes.
But you know, looking at Univision today and looking at just again Latin content today and Latin artists and all of that, it's just remarkable how much the market has grown.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, before or maybe at the same time, but it started with Desi Arnaz, right? Desi Arnaz, I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was of Cuban descent. And look how that show did. And that was his,
Yeah.
you know, Desi Arnaz Productions. That's the earliest I know of the crossover. But from then on, Tito Puente, Carlos Santana was Mexican, but Hispanic.
Yeah.
All these artists that have come up that hit general market and then worldwide. Today, Bad Bunny, Carol G.
Yeah.
It's and
They're all massive. They're
Yeah.
all massive.
they're all massive.
You know, what's her name? What can I? Oh, Shakira, of
Oh,
course. Like
Shakira,
she was
yeah.
one of the real big breakthroughs, and
Yes.
Pitbull. You know,
Pitbull.
all with connections to Miami, of course.
right.
You know,
That's right.
yeah.
And it
So
was a lot to do with Univision. I don't know if you're aware of a show called Sábado Gigante,
yes,
where Don Francisco, Mario Kreutzberger was the host of the show. And it was a Saturday night, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Was it 3 or 4 hours every Saturday? And it was a variety show. It was entertainment. It was musical. It was conversational. You learned from it. I think he still has the Guinness Book of Record for the longest show, even more than Carson, I think it is. But he has a Guinness Book World Record for the amount of time he was on the air.
wow, interesting.
Yep.
That's really interesting. Yeah, and you know, I remember seeing that show, and it was always, you know, wild and funny and like a variety show kind of thing, right?
Exactly.
And very colorful. Yeah, very colorful show.
So
But
that show actually started in Chile. He had it in Chile. And then at that time, the network president was Joaquin Blaya. Sorry. He was general manager of Channel 23. And he was Chilean, and he knew about Don Francisco and brought him over, and that's how it just grew.
yeah. So, what is your role there today with what's it called now? TelevisaUnivision?
TelevisaUnivision.
With my
My
terrible
role
Spanish
today.
accent.
Sorry?
With
What
my
was that?
terrible Hispanic accent.
It's all right. My official title is Senior Vice President of Production and Technical Operations.
Well, that's a big one.
But my job is really, I kind of call it the hub, right? Production operations, studio, scenic. We're kind of the hub, but not only that, because we help corporate, we help sales, we help local media. So we're kind of the hub. Everyone comes to us for services, and we keep the wheel moving.
Yeah. And what are the big? So is it more sports now? Music?
No.
What's really big for Univision now?
So what's big now is the consolidation that's happening. We merged with Televisa. It used to be Univision and Televisa, and we always got our programming from them, our prime time, and we used to get our programming. So when we merge, we still have TUDN, which is the sports network. It's just that it's being produced out of Mexico now. Whenever there's a merger in a company, TV, airline, any company, there's going to be some consolidation because you don't need two of everything.
Of course.
So that's what's happening. To me, it's normal course of business. And TUDN is down there. We still produce our daily live shows. We still produce 50% of our programming. We do the morning show. We have a newscast. And we have a couple entertainment shows that we do. But sports and most of entertainment is now being produced out of Mexico.
So speaking of sports, did you have any involvement with the recent World Cup events?
So no, because we did have TelevisaUnivision had the rights in Spanish in Mexico, but we didn't have the rights to it here in the States. But World Cup, I've been involved with World Cup since 1985.
Wow.
Yeah, big event. It's always been a big event. I'm glad to see, you know what? I'm really happy to see that this year's event, how it really connected with people and everything that goes on outside of the stadium, because that's what it's about. It's the passion of the game, the passion of the people that attend and view. And I'm glad to see that soccer has grown in this country too. Listen, don't get me wrong. I love the NFL. I love basketball. I love baseball. But
you didn't say hockey in there. I'm a Canadian.
Soccer is just different.
You didn't say hockey in that statement, and I'm a Canadian.
I know, and I forgot my Panthers are right up the street from me. You're right. I forgot about the Panthers.
Yeah. The winningest team in South Florida right now.
By the way, the Panthers, South Florida team, okay? 2 years.
I know. Well, and it's funny because both of those years, I generally get up here to my house in Canada at the end of May, 1st of June kind of thing. And both of the Cup years were against Edmonton, which is right up the road from me.
Yep.
And everyone here was ready to kill me because I'd be wearing a Panthers jersey or a Panthers hoodie or a Panthers. But I grew up a Calgary hockey fan, Calgary Flames, and there is no way a Calgary Flames fan would ever cheer for Edmonton. We were bitter enemies. We hated Edmonton. Yeah. And so I couldn't believe that everyone around here was suddenly an Oilers fan because they're just so desperate to bring a cup back to Canada, right?
Yeah.
And so it was a lot of fun both years and making bets with family members and stuff and winning, and being able to gloat for once because I'm used to being a Dolphins fan and you don't get to gloat very often. So what do you attribute the growth of, it seems to me, and I'm an outsider when it comes to soccer or football. My fiance's British and she is a huge soccer fan. So she drags me into it, kicking and fighting and screaming. But, so I don't know much about it, but it seems to me that World Cup was much bigger than it was the last time around, for American fans anyways.
Yeah, no, the ratings for English and Spanish were astronomical. I think what it attributes to, in my opinion, is really the little leagues that exist in every town now, and the little tournaments that they do, and those kids back then are now the adults now, and their adults and their kids are doing just like Little League Baseball or what do you call the football? Well, the kids play. I forgot the name of it, but when the kids are playing,
flag football.
Yeah, flag football or Pee-wee. Is it Pee-wee? Baseball, whatever it's called during football. But the kids got into it, right? And they grew, and then we got the MLS, and there was a little bit more, and the World Cup came in '94, and it just took step by step. Is it ever going to take the NFL or baseball? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to do that.
My argument on that is a couple of things. And I tell this, my fiance, if she hears this podcast, she's going to hate me for saying it, but because I say it all the time. There's like two or three problems with soccer as it relates to American or North American fans, in my opinion. One is the timing, the way they handle timing, where the ref just decides when the game is over, basically.
Exactly.
To me, there's no countdown to an ending. There's no excitement going, oh, 7 more seconds. Come on, you can do it. There's none of that because they just add another 9 minutes. And it's like, what just happened? Now we got to carry it another 9 minutes.
Yes.
And so that to me needs to be changed, and it probably never will.
No.
The biggest one is the diving. Like the diving to me is so anti sportsmanship, and so it's just such a horrible thing, and I can't even watch it. It's so disgusting.
Yeah.
And then the corruption, the corruption by officials and stuff. Like there's obvious corruption, there's obvious biases and things like that, and relationships between certain players or teams and certain officials or whatever. So to me, those three things need to change. Otherwise, personally, I try to get excited about it, but those are the things that keep annoying me.
No, listen, you're right. And everyone knows it across the world. But they still root for their team, that pride.
Love that.
The other part of it is really they don't have, it's soccer, right? They don't have football and basketball and hockey and things like that. Yes, they have the Olympic Games and stuff like that where they can root for their local team, but soccer is such an easy game that anywhere on any block, get a ball and just kick it and make sure you can hit the goal, and that's it. It's just a simplicity behind
it's
it.
Accessible. Yeah, it's very accessible.
And feeling that pride of your team, and forget about politics, right? Not just talking, the colors of your team are worn with honor, right? And you want everything to go well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's like the national pride stuff. I have never seen a sport bigger than that.
That's right.
Certainly in hockey, certain countries get into it like that. Canada being one of them, Czech Republic, Russia, but very few. Sweden, Norway. But with soccer, it's just like every country, especially Latin countries and European countries. It's just so big. It's life. It's like. It really blows my mind how big that was and how into it everyone was. And so it was enjoyable. I actually enjoyed, and for us, we're huge tennis fans too. So it made for good days because we were watching Wimbledon in the morning and then World Cup in the afternoon. And it was a lot of fun for a couple weeks,
Yes. Yes.
So yeah. So 41 years with the same company in the same market, in the same industry. What are some of the biggest changes that you've witnessed? And obviously, like if I look at my own career and what I've done in lighting, for example, I saw the advent really of the moving light, or at least the growth of the moving light to become an everyday thing, as opposed to just Genesis had a few of them, or just a couple of acts had a few of them. Now every act has hundreds or thousands in some cases of them. Of course, the internet, of course, now AI, like those are some of the big ones. But from your view, and from your sort of focus, what have been some of the massive changes over the last 40 years?
There's a lot, and it adds up to where we're at today. I've been with the same company for 41 years, but early in my career, I was able to do a lot of freelance work. So I got out there in the different trucks. I've been out there, Central America to do beauty pageants and award shows and things like that. And that's really, I learned so much in my freelance world because you're out there doing different companies, and you see the different gear. Everything has changed, right? From radio to TV and film, right? You can go way back then, and you progress to now, from film to video to the audio to changes on lenses. playback machines. I remember when I went out to LA for my first tour backstage, not tourist tour, but we went on a tour of the lots out there. And I run into this machine that's a computer that's doing playback and slow mo, and it's the EVS back. It was a Thunder. It was a Thunder back then.
Yeah.
That to me was amazing. I mean, my first machine was a 2-inch machine.
Yeah.
In Master Control, we had what was it called? The quad machine, I think it was called. Not quad machine, that's 4, but it was a 2-inch machine that we rolled commercials, and that thing would get stuck. And whenever we get stuck, we'd have to toss it between machines so we can make air.
Oh my goodness.
1-inch beta cam to now where we're tapeless, right? It's all file based. Who knows what's next? I think what's important is to engage that innovation, that change is coming. The whole thing with AI now, I get it, and I definitely respect the point of view that people have, but it's going to happen, either now or 5 years from now. But it's going to happen, and the idea is to be part of it, engage it, learn from it, and be part of the change. Not don't get left behind.
Mm.
In 2010 is when we went HD. It was for the World Cup, and that was a huge moment. I mean, are we going to go barn? Barn? Are we going to do barn store? The blacks on the side or the ones on the top? Are we going to stretch? I mean, that was a year's decision in that conversation, right? And even a small thing when we started putting the little logo on the bottom right hand side. Right now we do the bugs, right? That was a huge conversation. Now it's normal. Today, it's about AI. It's about what's going to change next.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I know in the live events space and music, and we get a lot of pushback because, especially from creatives, who think that the creativity is being taken away because AI is writing music, AI is, you're able to record video. And I don't know if you've seen the clip that someone used Grok to create a 3-minute clip of what's the movie called? The big movie that's out right now, Odyssey. Yeah, yeah. They created a 3-minute AI clip, and it's incredible. Like, I'm not a video guy. I'm not a movie producer or anything like that. I have no idea. Is it perfect? But to me, I couldn't tell it was AI. Like, I looked at it and went, yeah, this looks real to me. And so Elon has been sharing that around and stuff, and said that by the end of the year, you're going to be able to create Odyssey, the full movie, using AI without being able to tell that it's AI, without any glitches or anything. And so I understand the pushback from creatives, because that is problematic, obviously. I don't want music that's not created by musicians, even though I like a lot of it for background noise. Like, for example, my fiance and I will listen to, there's a particular reggae station that takes popular songs and turns them into reggae.
Oh.
And it's AI, and it just plays on and on and on and on eternally, right? And like, you'll hear Phil Collins, In the Air Tonight, in reggae, and all kinds of, good classic rock or just popular pop songs and stuff done in reggae. And it's just great to listen to because it's just background noise, right?
That's right. And go ahead.
Yeah, but when it comes to people being concerned with, sort of the vanillaizing of everything, like, movies are all going to get to a point of being good because they're all AI and they're all going to be good, and all the concepts are going to be good and the creatives are going to be good and stuff, but nothing's going to be great. It's going to flatten everything at this level of good. And that's what I've heard from somebody who actually owns a very large film studio, and said that to me. And I get that. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in the future of all of that stuff. But so I understand the pushback from people. And my response to people, usually, at least the ones that I'm very close with and friendly with and stuff, is I still don't feel like most people are going to lose their jobs or careers to AI. They're going to lose their careers to people who are using AI.
Exactly.
Because I think if I'm a 7, I think AI makes me a 9.5.
That's right.
you know, and so I'm using it as much as I possibly can because I could use the help, especially as I get older and I don't remember things as well as I used to and
Yes.
stuff like that. So I don't know what your thoughts are
I
on
actually
that.
want to use your analogy of, the all the big guys are saying that we're going to be flat. My interpretation of that is, yeah, technically, and the cable, or not the cable, but the AI, but some human is going to come up with an idea to take that story someplace else. And I
Yeah.
think that's where the innovation is going to come, right? Because we're all going to get used to it. I kind of see it as the same as why do the car companies always change the model every year? Because people get tired of seeing the same car. They want the Camaro, but they want the next version because it's going to have some bells and whistles.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the same thing's going to happen, not just in our industry, AI in general. It's going to get to a point where it's going to help us to take it that much better to
Yeah.
another step, another way of doing things.
Yeah. Delicate Productions. Since 1980, Delicate Productions has mastered the art of lighting, audio, and video in high energy live settings, from iconic music festivals to global tours, corporate launches, award shows, sporting events, and beyond. For Delicate, the only way to get it right is to get it just right. With precision, creativity, and full service production capabilities, they turn bold visions into moments that linger in pop culture's subconscious. Need a single touring partner to handle audio, lighting, video rigging, and production design? Delicate delivers it all flawlessly. Located in the greater Los Angeles area and part of the Live Events Productions Network, Delicate has access to a deep nationwide inventory of gear and is powered by a highly skilled team amplifying your tour's full potential. Whether you need rigging, production design, or end to end show management, they deliver it all seamlessly. And it doesn't end there. Delicate delivers a full 360-degree production experience by teaming up with sister company Pyrotechnico, experts in fireworks, special effects, and drone light shows. Together, they create truly immersive, multi-sensory experiences that elevate every show. Visit delicate.com to see how unforgettable events get made. That's delicate.com, where technical brilliance meets creative impact. You know what, Bert? I'll take that a step further. So I do this every day. So what'll happen, let's say I'm building a training document for my own team to teach them how to use a particular AI product or whatever it is. And I'll use AI to help me write that document or to write a script or whatever it is. And 90% of people will just take that and use it. I take that and I go through every point on it and I change every one. I add parts, I remove parts, I rewrite parts, and then I put it back into the same AI engine and I say, I've made some changes. What do you think? And it'll say, you've just taken this document from an 8.5 to a 9.2. And on the path that you're on right now, if you were to just tweak these couple of other things, I think we could get it very close to a 10.
See?
And
that allows you to be more
collaboration.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's collaboration. And that doesn't mean that I'm incapable of doing it myself. It means that myself collaborating with whether it's another human or an AI or whatever, or a combination of both, like it's going to make it better at the end of the day. So I'm not just relying on AI. I'm not just taking whatever it says to me and spitting that out. I'm taking it, looking at it, going, yeah, there's some good information in there, but I think I can make it better.
Agreed.
And so I think that's the next few years. I don't know what it looks like once we get past that, like when AI is making itself smarter and all of that.
I think I'll be on my sailboat. I'll just be doing something else by now.
Yeah, we're old. We don't need to worry about it. That's for our kids and their kids. That's their problem.
No, listen, but I agree with you. I don't want to just pass the buck, but it really is to understand the technology and how to use it and make it better, not just be complacent with good.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, you glanced over something really quickly, which was in 2010, Univision went to HD. And how big of an undertaking is that for a Univision? Like from a standpoint of cost, of, infrastructure change, equipment changes, learning, evolving, all of those things, like not just what frame size is it and where do we put the logo and that kind of stuff. I'm talking about like actual changes that you have to flip a switch and go, okay, we used to do it like this with all of this equipment. Now we're doing it like this with different people, different equipment, different education, etc. How big is that?
So in 2010, when we went HD, it was for the World Cup, but we still produced the rest of our programming in SD, and it
Yeah.
slowly changed over because it was just too much money. I mean, it was a lot
Yeah.
of money. And you know what I remember the most about that time was the conversations of 1080p, 1080p, 1080i, 720p. What format should we go? Because of the World Cup, they required us to be in HD because everyone else was in HD. So it wasn't like we couldn't do it. We just had to do it. And we
Yeah.
were actually a little behind everyone else. But it was an investment. It was a learning period. And with the amount of money that's behind the World Cup, there were a backup to the backup to the backup to the backup,
Mm.
right? Because you couldn't go to black on air. That was
Yeah.
not acceptable.
Yeah.
Well, it still isn't today, but especially during that time.
Certainly sports was one of the biggest beneficiaries or improvements. Like obviously movies and things like that got a lot better with HD and all that stuff. But sports, like I can't watch sports anymore. If you happen to trip over a standard def channel or something because HD went down or whatever, I can't do it. Like I just can't watch standard def sports anymore. Like if you're watching a YouTube video or something and it's old and it's in SD, it just like where's the puck? Where's the football? Where's what
Agreed.
team is that guy on? I know it's a red jersey, but I can't really see any detail on it.
But see, let me see if I can tie what you're saying right now to the conversation to AI, right? Because at the time when we couldn't see the football, we saw the football. We were
Yeah.
just used to it. And
Yeah,
then when
it's
HD
true.
came around, you were able to see the football. You go, wait a minute, I want that. I don't want this over here. And then you got into the 4K, and then you got the HDR, and you just keep growing, and you adapt to it.
Your expectations grow as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. Your expectations as it's like I think you said earlier, or maybe before we were on the air, you said something about technology. You used to have a computer this big that did nothing, and now you've got a little phone in your pocket that does 100 times what that computer did or whatever. But still, like even you get the latest iPhone 16, 17, whatever it is now, and you're doing something, and a few days later, you start already going, I just wish I could, blank, whatever that is. So we're always like pushing hard for the next thing. And then AI comes along and we're like, wait a second, stop right there, And I think some of that is because it's just, the inherent fear of humans and technology and just change, I think, too. The car, again, like, was it Henry Ford who said, if I asked people what they wanted, they would say faster horses.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the car.
Exactly. There's a movie, Another World, and the world's going to change and all that. But Disney or Pixar came out with a movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it, called WALL-E.
Of course.
And
of course. It all relates to all of this.
That to me is like, that's classic, right?
Yeah.
We're all up there in the spaceship and we're all, we don't want to do anything. But then somehow or another, we have to go back, right? Because this little flower comes along from this little, and all of a sudden, the computer didn't take over. The humans had to take over again. And that to me is kind of what I see.
It is. It's kind of where we're at, like, and I tell people that all the time. Go back and watch this animated film called WALL-E.
Yes.
It's a good one. Yeah. And then, some of the other ones too, like, what's it called? Il Machina or something? Il Machina?
I
The
don't.
one about the
Oh,
guy
Makina,
who
yes,
has,
Makina, yes, yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes, yes,
that
yes,
one, and
yes,
Her is another one.
yes,
Where they fall in love with an AI
yes,
robot or whatever.
yes,
These are all things that are now becoming reality, and
exactly.
like, so I know of a very very famous movie producer who's in talks with Google right now, and with others. And so the AI industry, the tech industry, are pushing really hard to start getting content out, movies, shows, whatever, that show the utopian side of it all.
Mm.
Because so far, all of the movies, if you think about it, all movies that are coming out are all the dystopian side, that AI is going to kill us and kill our children and, take over the world, and there's just no place for humans.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's all such a negative view, and who knows, maybe it does end up like that. I don't know,
Exactly.
but they're pushing really hard to have more of a Jetsons approach to it, like where everyone has robots running around doing all the things you don't want to do on a daily basis. So you can play tennis or you can go out boating or whatever. You
Right.
don't have to mow the lawn.
That's right.
So I think we do have to remember some of that stuff too. Like, it is going to take over a lot of the things we don't want to do anymore,
Yeah.
and allow us to do more of what we do want to do. And whether that's work, play, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Agreed. Agreed.
so I know we are here to talk more about. I appreciate you sharing some of the stuff about your career and background and stuff, because again, 41 years basically with one company, even though you did a lot of freelancing and stuff, but basically with one company for 41 years alone is incredible. In our industry, it's unheard of anymore, right? So
I think in any industry, really,
yeah, congratulations. I mean, that's huge, and obviously you've done a good job. Otherwise you wouldn't still be there. So, but you've gotten involved with something called CPX, and Washington Arias from remind me the name of his company. I forgot.
Everlast?
Yeah, Everlast. Jesus,
Yep.
I've only done business with them since the beginning of time, but it just slipped my mind. But Washington with Everlast reached out to me and said, "Hey, we're doing this thing. What do you think?" And we've had a few conversations about it and stuff. And I said, "Well, come on the podcast and let's talk about it a little bit." So, first of all, it's called CPX, and I'd like for you to tell me, what it is, why it is, where it is, how it is, who should be there, all of it. Like,
thank you for the opportunity.
Give me the story. Yeah.
So the long story, I'll try and make it short, but the long story is, as Televisa and Univision, the mergers happen, right? We have this facility. We have two campuses. We have 50,000 square foot studio. We have graphics. We have all this stuff. And there was a point where the CEO said, what do we do? And we proposed to make it a rental business. So I'm out doing my sales job now, because that's my job now. And I run into Washington and we sit down, and we're two old timers, right? I mean, he's younger than me, but he's been around.
Yeah, he's done it a while. Yeah.
So we're talking about what do we do to help generate, to network. And we came up with Creative Production Experience, CPX. And what it is really, you have the TV people, you have your streaming people, you have your filmmakers, but you also have your event planners, you have the gala people, you have your business seminars. You have all these people that are creative, that are tending or creating content for an audience, right? Be it podcast, be it linear, non-linear. So the thought is how do we get all these people together, get to meet each other, and talk about what we do, and meet the vendors and exhibitors that we work with, and maybe there's a chance to do something different or innovate and create a new ecosystem. So that's what we're doing. It's going to be October 4th and 5th. It's going to be at the TelevisaUnivision campus in Doral. Cool. And we have an exhibitor. We have 15,000 square foot studio is going to have the exhibitors. The 5,000 square foot studio is going to have demo stage, where we're going to set up a dark area for lighting. We have some techno dribs coming in. We have some LED screens coming in. various companies, right? I'm also in discussion with Telemundo and MediaPro, competitors, right? Because it's really about the ecosystem. When you go to LA, if you want to produce in LA and you work at ABC, you're going to go shoot on Disney campus. You
Yeah.
want to be Warner Brother, you might go shoot at CBX. I experienced that. They're just, where's the space available? Who's going to give me
Yeah.
the best deal and best equipment? That's what we're trying to create here. And it's not only about TV. There are the event planners, and they need large spaces too. But we're also going to have talk sessions. AI is a big topic. We have Ralph Jacob who's going to come in. He's our CTO. He's in conversations with IBM and Google to see if they can join us. We have another gentleman by the name of Gerardo Lopez Gallo. He's going to be talking about AI, the innovation of AI, and where it came from and how to do it. Because the creative mind is just not the big show budget. You got these people who are doing their iPhones, right?
Yeah.
They have 3 iPhones and are trying to create content. So that's what we're trying to talk. And that's where we're trying to get people together to communicate, to understand, and see how we can move it forward. Now, the event is in October, but we're hoping to do quarterly or maybe twice a year other events. Like maybe in January or February, we'll do one that's just on AI. We're going to do whole day, 6 sessions, whatever it takes. But let's get through this event first, figure out what people are looking for, and build it from there. Back in the day, the Emmys, you had your national Emmys and your local Emmys, and then in each chapter, the local Emmy would sponsor how to shoot on video, how to do 3-point lighting, how to do 1-inch tape. Well, we just want to bring that concept back, but bring it into today's world.
Yeah. I love that, and I got a million questions to ask you in response to that. But one of the things you mentioned about iPhones and creating content for iPhones, it's been one of the big shifts, obviously, over the last 10, 15 years is in live events. I talk to lighting designers and video directors all the time about this topic. Is when you're designing a live show, you might have 15, 20, or if it's a stadium show, it might be 50,000 people in the audience that are watching. But you've got millions of people who are watching on YouTube videos or on Facebook videos or on shorts or reels or whatever, like all these different formats. Because people, I don't know if you've been to a concert recently, but there's thousands of phones up in the air recording videos
I
of
used to do
that
the lighter
event.
thing, you know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
going to take a lighter to the Rush concert.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes it's funny because you see people like recording the entire show,
Yeah.
holding their phone up, recording the entire show. And
Yeah.
it's like, how are you watching the show,
Yeah.
when you're looking at the screen recording it? But hey, if you paid $200 for a ticket, good for you.
Remember
But
back in the day, that was like piracy and no cameras
yeah,
allowed, and oh my
yeah.
God! And then you want to go sneak purchase the bootleg more version,
Yeah, that it's hilarious because
Yeah.
now you can get and by the way, like somebody records a video on an iPhone at a concert, it sounds pretty good. You can listen to it in stereo with your headphones on, and it sounds damn good. I've been listening to thousands of Rush, recordings, from the current tour because
Yeah.
I haven't been able to see it yet, but yeah, but that whole concept of designing for a 6-inch screen and making it look great on that 6-inch screen is something that I think people are thinking a lot more about these days because, again, there's way more minutes. And, your employers might not like or agree with me saying this, but there's way more minutes viewed on that 6-inch screen than there are on the 60-inch screen in your living room or whatever, right?
No, listen, they recognize that, and
Yeah.
focus of TelevisaUnivision is to build our streaming platform, which is VIX. It's still linear. I mean, a couple of years ago was linear and non-linear like this, right? But let me tell you, and we all know it, right? It's right here
Yeah.
because.
Yeah.
And what is it? It's changing people's habits. I don't have to sit down at 6 p.m. to watch a show anymore,
Yeah.
right? I could go and watch that show whenever I want
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah, on the
available over
streaming.
here,
Yeah.
right? And it's just about today. That's the way it
Yeah.
works today.
Yeah. Well, and obviously, again, like you said, AI sessions, breakout sessions, whatever. It's super important. It's obviously super important because you're going to have AI created content. You're going to have content about AI. You're going to have, all kinds of different sort of engagements with AI when it comes to the content that's being created. So, you are you've explained sort of what the concept is and that there's exhibitors and there's all these different the exhibitors are the standard exhibitors like lighting manufacturers and some audio manufacturers, playback devices, digital stuff, LED screens, of course.
And we also have some content creators, or people that are looking for content creators. We have two booths of companies that VIX is one, that they're looking for content. So they want to see
Yeah.
who's out there, what's out there that we can look at to put on our streaming platform, right?
Hmm.
Uh, because it's just not about the tech. It really is trying to get the creative minds under one roof and
Yeah.
having the discussions. There's a networking area where you can just sit there and charge your phone if you need to charge your phone, but you might be sitting next to another content creator or someone that knows someone, and that's the way the circle keeps going.
Yeah. So the types of people that you're expecting to appeal to or to attract to this event are like sort of run the gamut from content creators to event
Yes.
companies to
So decision makers, right? Decision makers that say, this is the content I want. Uh, People that create content, people that support the creation of content, that infrastructure of audio, video, and lighting. But we
Mhm.
also have the big stuff too, right? We have NAP is might be coming down with a truck. We have our own truck open for tours, so you can see what our truck can do. So yes, I'm going to say it runs the gamut, and we're trying. It might, people have told me you're way too open. You got to find a niche. I don't know what the niche is. Yes, the niche could be micro novellas, right? And I actually spoke to, by the way, just to go back to AI a second, I actually met a person who's creating micro novellas, totally AI.
Oh,
Actor,
interesting.
set, music, script. He's a two-man person staff creating
Wild.
micro novellas.
That's wild. Yeah.
Of course, I got to bring that guy in. I would love for that guy to attend and
Yeah.
be part of the group, right? Because
Yeah.
he's doing it. He's making it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the thing. Like this is where I get lost on all this stuff because when you look at Mr. Beast, for example,
Yes.
like, you know, probably single-handedly one of the largest networks there is, from a viewing standpoint, the number of views, the amount of viewing, the minutes of screen time, whatever you want to call it, but just obviously a wildly successful creator and just network.
Yeah. Yes, but he also has a machine behind him,
He
right?
does.
There's a
Yeah.
staff, and
Yeah.
that it's just a different way of doing it than we did in the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the
It's true.
conversation.
Yeah, it's
What's
true.
coming up in 2030 and 2035?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm still a little bit confused because I'm not thinking that it's too wide because I understand you're still trying to figure out who your core audience is for this thing because you're throwing a lot at them and then you're going to probably start to hone in on what the most important parts are based on the exhibitors that are attracted, the audience that ends up coming to it, etc. But like I'm trying in my head, obviously, I'm automatically going to all the different trade shows, NAB and LDI and AES and whatever, all of these different trade shows. And how does this look compared to that? How does it compete with this one? If you were choosing to go to NAB or this, like which would you choose?
So that's a great question because the thing is that everyone can go to NAB, or not everyone is interested in NAB because NAB is so big,
Yeah.
right? NAB is about the Sonys and their 8 cameras, and yes, you have the smaller vendors or the smaller companies on in a different hall, but NAB is, and it is worldwide. We're really starting at a southeast region, right? Orlando
Yeah.
down, that ecosystem, the networking, that's where the focus is at.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is sort of like a micro sort of NAB or a
Yeah,
micro. It's much more localized and regional or whatever you want to call it. And who
yeah,
knows what it grows into from there.
correct.
And so what has the response been like so far? Like both from the standpoint of, obviously having the money come in, which is the exhibitors and advertisers or whatever you're looking for there, but also from the standpoint of just attendees.
So
Like,
we just started. What was it? May 26th was the day that we said save the date.
yeah,
We're doing okay. Are we doing great? No, but we know that we have to ramp up now. The attendee, getting the message out about the event,
yeah,
and getting that word out there. But what's also going to help us is the companies that we have coming with us. They have their followers. They have their
yeah,
business people,
of
right?
course, yeah.
So it's that ecosystem. It really is an ecosystem we're trying to create.
Yeah. And the good thing about having exhibitors and stuff too is that you may have someone coming to see the latest, and I don't know who your exhibitors are, but call it the latest row LED screen, and while they're there, they trip over, ETC's new LED Lico or whatever it
Exactly.
is, right?
Exactly.
And so that's obviously one of the great things about trade shows, and then all of the networking that happens is super important. I think, and I've been talking about this for a while, I think smaller micro trade shows are going to start to become more standard as travel gets more and more expensive and people's time is maybe more valuable or less available than it used to be, where you could go 5 days to go to NAB or something and go hang around Las Vegas. And like, I don't know if you've been to Vegas recently, especially for a trade show like NAB, but
It-
rooms aren't what they used to be,
no,
and you work
no,
for a
don't
big company,
overpay.
so it doesn't bother you as much. But when you're a little company like mine and you're paying your own expenses,
Yeah.
and you're going to Vegas now and it's $400 for a hotel room and $30 for a drink, and you got
Yeah.
4 customers and you're buying them drinks,
Yeah.
all of a sudden that bar tab that used to be $100 is $600 now,
Agreed.
I mean, it's and dinners and getting into restaurants is hard now, and like it is brutal
It
going
is.
to Las Vegas for a
It's
trade show.
expensive over there. Let me tell you, down here in Miami, we were just, I live in Broward, but well, I live in South Florida.
Yeah.
Miami was just noted as more expensive living than it is in New York, believe it or not. And they still have all the
What?
taxes up there and all that. But there was a report that came out. I mean, it's really expensive to live down here. Um,
Yeah, I guess I haven't noticed. I don't get out as much as I used to, maybe,
yeah,
but I haven't noticed that. Like, I have noticed things like the Keys. I used to go stay at the Chica Lodge in
beautiful,
Alamorada
beautiful.
4 or 5 times a year.
Yeah,
And as a South Florida resident, we could always get like a 199, 249 for an oceanfront room. Like those are $900 now.
exactly.
They're
Even on off
$900
season,
now.
and that's off season in middle of August, 100% humidity.
Yeah, yeah, brutal. Ugh.
Part of the conversation we also want to have is the different film commissions that exist, right? Florida doesn't have a film commission anymore, but there is a film Florida, and some municipalities have a film commission, I'm going to call it, but entertainment, we get your permits and that type of thing.
Hmm.
And there are some incentives out there that some of these municipalities are talking about. So we're going to organize a conversation around that to help the local people understand what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, I think, again, I'm not still completely positive of who your audience is as far as getting attendees in there, but I'm thinking young people who are at the early stage of their career, to be able to get access to your studios and to see your trucks and like you're saying, that's incredible. Like, anytime you give that kind of access to people who are either entering or transitioning into the industry or whatever it is, those things are so valuable, and you have to take those opportunities. So to me, that alone is worth the ticket, just to be able to meet you and to walk around those studios and see what it's like in a very big state of the art facility like that. I remember the first time I went to Univision and was like, whoa, this is cool, you know, because
Yeah.
I had never been in a place like that.
You know,
Uh,
the experience is going to happen in a working studios. It's not in some
yeah.
convention center. It's a real working studio and a working facility. I think that's also something people be interested to see. You know,
Yeah.
we also have our own content, music creation. We have a whole department on music where they've scored for novelas and movies and commercials, and they've won awards. Graphics, distribution. We can distribute to anywhere, anything. Um, uh, Looking forward to showing people around.
Yeah, no, that's exciting. And as far as like if you can share this information, what is your target as far as attendees? Like, are you looking for 1,000 people your first year or 5,000 people your first year? I have no idea
No,
what
I
that.
mean, I don't know if we can hold 1,000 people. To be honest with you,
Yeah,
uh, you know, if we do 300 to 500 people a day, I think we'd
yeah.
be successful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very reasonable number. And that's also a great networking number because when you've got a trade show like an NAB with, many, many thousands of people there,
Yeah,
it's so hard to get FaceTime with people who matter. Like
exactly.
if
Yeah,
you want to go talk to Panasonic about their latest camera, good luck getting to them when you've got, huge people in front of you that take all of their time.
exactly, exactly.
So, like I remember, for example, NAM, the music instrument show, NAM,
Yes.
they had the big LA show, still do, huge show, great show. I used to be in the music business, so I went to it quite often. And, but like, if Guitar Center was in the Fender booth, for example, and you wanted to go meet with your Fender guy, forget it. You're just not going to get his attention because Guitar Center's got like 40 buyers in there
That's right.
and they're writing a big order.
That's right.
And so little old me, I wasn't going to get their attention.
Yeah.
And so I would just have to come back later and hope that Guitar Center or some other big company wasn't in their booth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so same with NAB. Like I remember many years ago now, so it's probably twice as big now, but I was riding down an elevator in the hotel to go to the show. And there were like 4 people in the elevator or 5 people in the elevator with Sony logos on their shirts. And I said, wow, this is probably a pretty big show for Sony. And he said, yeah, I think we have 3,600 people here this year. And this was probably 20 years ago at least.
It's a lot of people.
So I have no idea how many people they have there now, but
Yeah. No.
yeah, so.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're a working facility, right? I mean, the network is still going on. We're still broadcasting. We're still streaming. People are in their offices. So, yeah, 1,000 people would be a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, I certainly look forward to helping you guys try to
Thank
grow
you.
this event. I'm a South Florida guy as well, and love to see any sort of initiative in the South Florida market. Again, I think access is an important thing, and I'll give you another example. I do, and this isn't a promotion, believe it or not, but I do an event with LDI called Dining with Dinosaurs.
Okay.
And what it is it's basically, the founders of our industry, whether it's lighting designers, sound engineers, production managers, across the board, basically, just people who have done incredible things in our industry and who, sort of we set a bar around 60. So we want you to be 60 or older kind of thing. And it's to share stories, to share information, to share knowledge and experience and stuff with whether it's younger people in the industry or anyone in the industry who wants to gain that information. And so last year was our second year. The first year we had no idea what we were doing. Last year was our first real year, and I think we had 400 or 500 people there.
That's great.
And what I say to people who are coming there, especially young people, is when I started in this industry, I didn't have access to Mark Brickman or Peter Morse or Jake Berry or all of these incredible people. I had zero access to those people. I had to earn that over many years.
Yes, sir.
And you are now sitting right next to them at a table and can ask them whatever you want to ask them. And you can get their email address or their Instagram and follow them. And you can actually network and connect with these people face to face right here in this room. take advantage of that.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Yeah,
that is meaningful.
That's fantastic. You know
And
what?
that's what you're doing.
Yes, because I forgot to mention one thing. We are also working with Miami-Dade College, FIU, uh, uh, what's the name of the school? I just forgot the name of the school. They took over Connecticut School of Broadcasting. Oh my God, I can't remember his name.
I
But
forget
there's a
it too.
company, there's another vocational school, and they're all going to be part of this too because we want to help the next generation.
Of
Open up the
course.
door to them, right?
Yeah.
That's important also because they're the ones coming up, right?
Yeah. Well, and I mentioned the access that they'll have to the studio and to the trucks and all of those things that you said are going to, and the gear that's on display and stuff, but also the people.
That's right.
You know, you got a guy here that I'm talking to right now who's been doing this for 41 years quite successfully, and he'll talk to you. He'll have a conversation with you and say, "Here's how I did it, and here's how it's different today, and here's how you should maybe consider doing it." You know.
Thank you. There's one thing I haven't said all day, and that is thank you for all the accolades. And it's taken me a while to get used to these things, these accolades, right?
Yeah.
Especially in this new role of CPX and everything, and everyone, you know, oh my God. But
Yeah.
it's about the team. There are so many people throughout the years, and even today with CPX, putting this thing together that I represent. I work for them. They don't work for me. I want to make sure that they shine and they get the credit, right? And I haven't said that once, and that's not normal of me. So please want me to thank everyone in my career from day one, even before my career, the people that have inspired me, my dad, to what I am today. I can't do it by myself.
None of us can. None of us can. You know, it's great to celebrate you and to accept the fact that you've been successful and to be proud and happy of that success, etc. And people, I think, half the time, because I'm on air so much and I'm always speaking and doing different things, people think I'm maybe an egotistical blowhard or something. But really, at the end of the day, same for me. You know, like I exist because of everyone else, not because of me. I exist because of all of my clients over the years and my staff and my team and my coworkers and my whoever, even my bosses at different companies and stuff. You know, none of us exists in a silo by ourselves on an island. We're all propped up by all the great people and opportunities around us. And so, yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying there.
Great. Thank you.
Well, you know, again, for anyone who is in the sort of Orlando South market, or if you want to travel into the market to go to this event, nobody's going to throw you out. I would assume that to attend, you go to cpx2026.com.
It's actually cpx26.com.
cpx26.com. Okay, yep. So I had that wrong.
And we're on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn.
Cool. So is the site next year going to be cpx27.com?
Yes. Yeah.
You've already bought all the domains? Because I'm going to go buy them and then I'll sell them back to you, because that's what I do. I'm a profit-making lunatic, you know. I like to make money. I'm going to go buy, using AI, by the way. I'm going to use AI and say, go buy CPX with every year for the next 20 years.
There you go.
Assuming you're going to be wildly successful. You know, I need to own those domains so I can license them back to you. Now, so go to cpx26.com, and then is there just like a sign-up page or a register page or something?
Yeah, there's a page there where you can sign up, and we are selling tickets. We are selling tickets, $50.
You can $50 for 1 day. Is that how it works, or for the whole event?
1 day. 1 day.
Okay.
And there's a place also if you have any questions or anything like that. If you need hotels, there's hotels in the area. Everything is listed there.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I wish you guys the best of luck. You know, I'm hoping to be able to get to it. I'm supposed to still be in Canada at that time, but I told Washington I would try to get there.
Excellent.
And
looking forward to meeting you in person, shaking your hand.
Likewise. Yeah, likewise. I'm sure we met at some point, because I've been with every lighting manufacturer over the years and stuff. So, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Bert. Well, thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing or hearing more about it.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day. Today's podcast is brought to you by Coffee Cult. In the touring world, the show doesn't happen without the crew. They're the first ones in and the last ones out. But long nights and life on the road takes a toll. That's why we've teamed up to create something that fuels your body and the mission. At Coffee Cult, they don't do average. So for our Geezer's Grind blend, their team wanted something unapologetic. With my help, they fused the dark intensity of their Road Dog roast with the smooth, nutty balance of their medium roast, Horizon Gold. And the result is not your average cup of coffee. It's a premium, small batch blend built for the long haul on a tour bus or for your comfy living room lounge chair. But it is more than just a caffeine kick we're after. 20% of every bag sold goes directly to the Roadie Clinic, whether it's mental health resources, their Roadie Doc RX program, or just a safe space to heal in the Roadie Clinic, Michigan facility. Your morning coffee is now helping to provide a lifeline to the men and women behind the scenes. It's crews taking care of crews. From the rigger in the rafters to the engineers at front of house, we're adding a layer of support so that no one is forced to walk the road alone. Visit theroadieclinic.com and head over to Coffee Cult, coffee with a K, cult with a K.com, and grab a bag of Geezer's Grind today and support the world's roadies. Fuel your day while supporting your crew.